Hey everybody, Joss Willard here, back again for video number 6. There is no Mario today because today we're in my offices at Change My Life Coaching. This is one of our coaching rooms where clients can come in and get coached if they happen to be close enough to us to come visit us. We also do coaching online, by the phone, FaceTime, Google, Hangouts, any of those types of things, whatever it takes to help our clients meet their goals, move forward and live their best lives. But we're here today because I wanted the board, and I wanted the board so that I could visually show you how using the triangle works. Okay, but before I do that, I just want to remind everyone that what I'm giving you, what I have given you, what I'm going to give you today, and what I'm going to give you in the future, these are all useful tools, but they are not diagnoses, and they are not a prescribed treatment plan for anybody in particular, because everybody's anxiety, everybody's overwhelm, everybody's situation is unique. You're unique, your situation is unique. Sometimes biology plays a factor, sometimes it's outside factors. There's all sorts of things that we can't know from me just giving you tools on a video. So please, if you are struggling with anxiety or you're struggling with overwhelm and you feel like you're doing it alone, I'm begging you, please go talk to a competent professional. And by a competent professional, I mean someone who can give you specific advice, specific support tailored to your particular situation. That can be a therapist, that can be a psychologist, a psychiatrist, that can be a hotline to a certain extent, that can be counselors, that can be coaches like me, any number of folks. And if you feel like maybe cost might be an issue, or maybe there are some lifestyle choices that you've made that you think might you don't want to necessarily share with a counselor or a therapist, there are ways to find people who are trained to handle those types of situations or who make those types of situations available. But if for some reason you don't feel comfortable contacting any other professional, please shoot me a private message. I'll be happy to work with you, see if we can't set you up with someone wherever you are in the world, find you some resources that are going to get you the support that you need. And if it happens to be me, that's great too. Okay, great. So let's move on to the triangle. So here it is on the board. You might recognize this. We've got focus up here, we've got meaning over here, we've got action over here. 3 different corners. You'll also notice that between each of the corners are these arrows, and that these arrows point both ways. And the reason that the arrows point both ways is very simple. It's because if you change any one of the corners, you're going to affect the other 2 corners. You're going to affect the other portions of your life. And that's why the triangle is so effective. Now, I'll show you that in a minute, but you may have seen triangles like this before. Tony Robbins originated this one. I've tweaked it a little bit, but it originated with him. In strategic intervention, which is one of my methodologies that I'm trained in, we have 2 or 3 different versions of the triangle. We also have the triad, which is another version. In cognitive behavioral therapy, you'll see they have a triangle, changes some of the letters, and all of them are basically just changing which parts of the triad it is, and they're all effective based on the situation that you use them in. But for this particular case today, we're going to stick with this one. And what I want to do is I want to show you how to make it work. So let's start with overwhelm, for example, all right? The challenge is when we're feeling overwhelmed, we are usually focused on something that we can't control, right? So focus is where we're going to start. And with overwhelm, like I said, usually we're focused on something that we can't control. And most often, that something that we're focused on that we can't control, I feel like I have no time. So we're going to put this up here. I have no time. Well, unfortunately, time is something that we can't control. Everyone has the same amount of time. That's just what's allotted. In 24 hours, we all have 24 hours. We can't control it. So since we cannot create more time within a set time period, we believe that we have failed automatically. We've failed. There's nothing we can do. So the meaning that we give not having any time is that we failed. And that means that we've let people down. That means life is horrible. I mean, nothing is good. We've failed. And if we've failed, we have a very limited amount of choices, of actions that we can do. All of them are negative. None of them do us any good. None of them are particularly helpful. We can choose to worry. We can choose to hide and hope it goes away. We can choose to get mad, or we can choose to be depressed. Any number of those things. None of them are particularly helpful. We've just created for ourselves a no-win situation, a downward spiral, feedback loop. This isn't good. But what if we could change something? Well, let's look at options. What could we change? What if we changed our focus? And I'm not talking a major focus, and I'm not talking being blind. I'm talking about, what if we say, instead of I don't have time, what if we say I've committed to more things than can be done in that limited period of time? Means kind of the same thing, but our focus now is, instead of the fact that we have no time, We're focused on the fact that we're overcommitted. See, the amount of time we have is something we can't control. What we commit to, that's something we can control. So now we've changed our focus. Our focus is we're overcommitted. Well, if we're overcommitted, we have more options, right? Because if it's just about time, then all we can do is worry, hide, get mad, get depressed, those types of things. But if it's about being overcommitted, well, we've got 3 new options that just suddenly popped up on our actions list. We can renegotiate what we've committed to. We can delegate some of what we've committed to other people who are there to support us. We can ask for help, right? All of those things are options. So if we change our focus to being overcommitted instead of not having time, we have more options. Well, then all of a sudden our meaning changes, because our meaning originally was that we failed. Well, that was the only choice we had for a meaning if we were focused on not having enough time. But if we're focused on being overcommitted, well, then we have more options, and that means we just need to renegotiate or ask for help. That's the meaning. Well, I've overcommitted, so I need to renegotiate or ask for help, and there's the actions that I can take. So you see how the triangle works? It's the same situation. The situation hasn't changed. We still have more things to do in the time we have available to do them in, but now we have a different focus, and it's less stressful because we have things that we can do to take control. You see how that works? Awesome. So the second example of how to do this, I want to apply to something that I think might actually be relevant specifically to a number of us out here today. So let's assume that we were in this situation and we tried to use the triangle and it didn't work. For whatever reason, it didn't work. Maybe we changed the focus. Yeah, no, it's not that I don't have enough time, it's that I'm overcommitted. But for some reason, we still chose to believe that that meant we failed. I should have known better. I should have known how much time I have or how much time it's going to take. I never should have committed to that. Or we choose that we know what we're going to hide, or we're going to get mad, we're going to blame people, we're going to procrastinate, and oh no, here comes the deadline, it all blows up and it gets ugly, and that creates more anxiety and more overwhelm and more stress, and now we're in a downward spiral again, right? Okay, that's not good. What are we focused on in that situation? Well, what we're focused on is it didn't work, right? Clearly, we're focused on it didn't work. Well, what's the meaning? If it didn't work, there's only a couple of reasons, right? There's only a couple of meanings we can give the fact that the triangle didn't work. Either this whole triangle thing is a steaming pile of crap and Joss is not giving me good information, or the triangle thing works, but I don't. I'm broken, I suck, it doesn't work for me, I should never have tried it, right? If those are the 2 meanings that you're going to give it, or either of those meanings, well then your options are pretty limited. You can do one thing. You can quit. You can say, you know what? I'm broken. I can't do this. Somebody else who's better than me could do this. Somebody else who's better than me or smarter than me, or whose anxiety isn't as bad as mine, they could do it, but I can't. So I might as well not even try. Or you can blame me. You can say, oh, he's full of crap. None of that works. There's no point in even looking at it anymore because it's just a pile of crap, right? In either case, you're blaming. Either blaming yourself or you're blaming me, right? And that's fine. Blame is great. Blame feels good. Blame relieves us of all responsibility. It's somebody else's fault. Or I can't fix it because I'm broken, right? It's not your fault. It's your condition's fault, and you can blame that. The problem with blame is that even though it feels good, it relieves us of responsibility, it doesn't change anything, and we stay in this downward spiral. Because while we're here blaming ourselves, something else is going to come up and grab our focus. That's going to freak us out. We're going to wind up having an anxiety attack. The meaning is going to be that we suck, that we fail. We're going to have no choice, and we're back in that downward spiral. We don't want to do that, right? We want to get out of that. So let's look again. What if we change something small? What if we changed our focus again just a little bit? We're still going to focus on that it didn't work, right? Try to use the triangle, it didn't work. But we're going to add the word completely, and this time. It didn't work completely this time. So I'm going to twist my focus to, well, why not? Didn't work completely, worked a little. This time, why didn't it do that? Well, that gives us an action, right? If we're switching our focus to why didn't it do it, now we have an action. We can examine why it didn't work, right? So let's examine. Well, one of the questions we can ask ourselves when we're examining is, well, did I change one of my corners? Well, I did. We changed our corner. We changed our focus. It changed from not enough time to overcommitted, right? Excellent. So we did make a change. We did get one of those corners to adjust. Excellent. Give yourself a pat on the back. What choices did I make, though, once I changed that corner, right? What choice did I make? Well, unfortunately, what we chose was to get angry or to hide or to procrastinate, right? That's a choice we made. We can't change the choice we made in the past. We're not going to blame ourselves. We're not going to beat ourselves up about it. We're just going to say, look, you know what? This is the choice I made here. So this is where we went off the rails. Great. So if I can't change that, the one thing that I can focus on is, what can I do different next time? Right? Now I have an action. I've changed my focus. I have something to focus on. If I take these actions to examine why it didn't work this time, why it didn't work completely this time, I start doing this examination and I can only come up with some meanings. Well, you know what? It's not a pile of crap. And it's not because I can't do it. I can do this because I saw some progress. I can do this. But maybe I could use a little help. Right? So now we have a positive spiral, because if our meaning is that maybe I could use some help, then our new action is, well, maybe we should go get some help. Maybe we should focus on finding some help. Okay? Now this is just one tool. And this is just a couple of ways that you can use it. There are literally thousands of tools out there. I have several hundred that I can use on a regular basis to help my clients get through stuff like this. I'm going to share some of those with you in the future. But if you'd like to learn how to get access to tools like this for yourself in a situation or in a manner that you can actually apply them to your own life, be here tomorrow, because that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. So, be here tomorrow, bring a friend. Please like and share this video with people that can benefit from being part of this conversation, the people that are most important to you. We will see you tomorrow, and until then, please live your best life today.